Jagex shadow nerfed the experience rates for the Poddington Blend 102 fertilizer and 101 fertilizer, or better known as the dinosaur poop collecting method, a method I championed in my previous video when I talked about AFK versus active skilling. And I don't want to repeat this video in this video, right? Because quite frankly, I said everything I wanted to say in that video, and I want to talk about what this means as a precedent for the game. And of course, there's a big caveat here, right? Like, shadow nerf sounds very like a big topic, like a big thing, like sneaky kind of thing, right? But in all honesty, they tweaked it last Tuesday because it was too overpowered. Because 1 million experience an hour versus the 520k experience an hour when you do something AFK is a bit ridiculous. And I think it should have set at around 800k is probably, you know, a legitimate experience rate that I think would be realistic. But now it's sitting at about 650, 660k experience an hour, making it about 15 to 20% better than the AFK method, because portables also give you some sort of buffs and stuff. So it just really depends on like how you go about it. But overall, it's about a 15 to 20% better experience rate than a passive method. But to most people, that wouldn't be worth doing. It's still worth doing for myself, but yeah, it is what it is. But what I'm kind of trying to say here, and it's just like, I don't want to go with Jagex for like being sneaky about it, right? Because they couldn't put it in a news post until Monday because there was a news post. I think they should have done a tweet or something, or a Reddit post, or at least said it somewhere socially instead of Protox finding it out themselves and me having to find out through Protox and not through Runescape themselves. It's kind of it's not a good look, but you know, that is some feedback that I'm gonna give to him personally, and that's just kind of it is what it is, right? Like, it's not a big deal. But what is a big deal, and just what I'm just really worried about, and I know I will sound like someone who's just complaining and someone who's a elitist or a gatekeeper or whatever it might be, right? Like, whatever you might want to put on me, because I saw some comments in the last video and some of them were valid. Like, it's a small thing, right, that, you know, some methods are better than others and stuff, and to a lot of people it's not really important. But to me, it's more so what it means for the grand scheme of things and the future of the game. And I just really think that if you're moving towards a more passive, idle, AFK way of playing this game, and this nerf to me is like such a good example of that vision to me, because yeah, it was too overpowered, right? Like, let's take that off the table completely, but pretty much nerfing it to the point where it's about the same as the AFK method. And I understand there's a money aspect to it, right? And that's kind of contradicting my own thing that is in the video where I said if you make money off it, you shouldn't get much experience of it. But newsflash, because the production rate is now so high at this method, the money is not really worth it anymore. At least from a perspective of requirements versus input. Like, at that requirement/input rate, there are now better money makers than dinosaur poop collecting, because it was such a good money maker, because a lot of people didn't do it and it was quite slow. But now it's really fast, and it should be, and I think that the state it is in right now is really good, but the money that comes from it is nowhere near what it used to be. I think you could get like 20 million GP an hour with it or something, and now you're lucky if you get like 8 to 9 million GP an hour with this method. So to a lot of people, that is not worth doing. And if it comes to optimizing this game, let's be real, everyone wants to optimize it. They want to get the best experience or money rates in an hour that they could. So from a moneymaker perspective, this is now dead, right? Like, this is completely gutted in the ground, whatever. And then it just remains to be a skilling method. And it's a skilling method that now is yet again slightly better than the passive method or AFK method. And it's just, to me, like, why? Like, do you really want me to pitch this game to a friend in a way where it's like, my friend asks, like, hey, dude, what's the best way to train all these skills? I'm like, yeah, just don't interact with the game and watch a Netflix show. Like, is that the game you want to play? Is that the game you want to develop, right? Like, to me, I want to physically play this video game. Like, I want to interact with it. From a stream point of view, it's nice because, you know, I'm doing something and I'm not just staring at my screen and waiting for people in my chat to talk. But just in general, as a player perspective, I like playing video games. Like, I like sitting here and interacting with the video game I enjoy. And I don't want to just wait and just watch a Netflix show. It's nice that it's an option, and it should be a valid option, like I said in the previous video, but it shouldn't be the main way to play the game. And why I think this is a bigger deal than it might seem, because it's something all the way at the bottom of a patch note update. It's just the precedent, and it's something that just worries me, because if they are going into this direction and they're making this more and more AFK, more idle, more of a game where you just, you know, complete something quickly and then there's nothing much to do, like the fort buildings, right? Like the fort buildings, you complete it and that's it. There's nothing to it. There's no newness to it for a player that's already been there. And let's be honest, the majority of players that play this game are players that have already been there and have already seen Herblore training, for example. And it's just, yet again, a new location to do the same skill. If that is the direction this game is going in, like, ban all the microtransaction stuff if you don't agree with those things. Like, I get it. But I think this is way more worrisome than microtransactions, because at least microtransactions fund the game. This, in my opinion, will eventually just kill the game if this is the future of the game. And obviously, this is a lot of doom thinking, and I know that hopefully they're aware of this, and hopefully it's something they could do something about it. And I completely understand that the balancing isn't as simple as, oh, just make this method better, or oh, nerf this method, because there's a lot of implications with it, and there's a lot of balancing to be done with it as well. But it's just something that I just really I'm so worried about it that I make 2 videos about it, pretty much, is what I'm trying to say. And I just want this game to be successful, and I want this game to succeed and to be enjoyable to play, and not something that you have on in the background and you don't really think about twice. If you want to do that, it should be an option, but yeah, I don't know. It just feels like I'm complaining a little bit, and I just don't really like complaining about Runescape, even though I do it a lot because you get views, and I like views, but more so of a concerned citizen type of view, because I want this game to be successful. I want this game to do well, and I don't want this to just die out because they're focusing too much on the fact that people prefer to do AFK methods. Yes, of course they do, because they're pretty much the same, you know, XP or money or whatever as an active method. So there's no point in really doing them, right? If an active method is by far the best method to do something, trust me, people will interact with it. But hey, what do I know? Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the video. We're still trying to get to 5K by the end of the year. And my name's Chevalric, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.